It is January the 29th, and I felt like I needed to give y'all a life update of where I've been and what I have been doing. And not that I owe anybody any explanation, but I really wanted to really just share my heart around like where I've been in like my intentionality over the past like 29 days. So I don't know about y'all, but for me, I feel like January came in like I'm guessing as Taylor Swift would say, like a wrecking ball. I felt like my entire existence was like shaken up. And I felt like I was really confronted with some like super heavy things about who I am, how I show up, my motives, why I do what I do. And if I'm being honest, like I honestly wasn't expecting that at all. So going into January, um, there was a couple of things that happened career wise. There was a couple career changes that I had that happened kind of out of the blue. All good. You learn, you grow, you move forward. But going into January, um, I think January 1, or was it? Yeah, January 1. Was it January 1? Maybe it was January 1. I'm not sure. Or a little bit prior to, I kept seeing people talking about dry January. No, it was before January 1. There was um, a news something that Jabari and I was watching, and the news anchor was talking about all of the studies about how alcohol intake leads to cancer. And like I'm watching this, um, I'm listening, and I started to have this revelation about like how much I love like Prosecco and how much, how is it healthy after a long day to have multiple glasses of wine, right? And like I'm like listening to like all of these studies, and they're talking about, like it's not proven, but it led me to a space of like, okay, interesting. So January 1 unfolds, and I start seeing people talk about dry January, and I started to have this conflicting notion that I needed to participate in dry January, um, because it felt like there was a part of my personal growth in some aspect that was being stunted for whatever reason. And I felt like eliminating everything that I could potentially eliminate to clear my head and to help me gain clarity. Like I really felt like that was the tug. So I did. I was like, okay, like I'm gonna do this. And I did. Like we're literally day 29. Well, as of today, we're at day 28, and I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Like a lot of stuff that we do because it is a routine. We do it because, you know, it's the thing that we do every single day, not because we need it, right? And I think, and we also do things because of The things that are trending. Alcohol is trending. Drinking wine after work to unwind. Like, it's trendy. But with that, what I realize is we are taking and putting ourselves on this hamster wheel of doing things just for the sake of doing it. And that is where everything, literally from that peaking moment or that aha moment, where I realized that I have had relationships with people, I'm doing life with people, I'm doing all these things not because they're good for me, but because it's familiar, but because it's comfortable. And I'm starting to realize that in order for me to grow and be a better version of myself, that I have to cut the root of all the things that are holding me back from being that version of myself, right? So that can be the routine of thinking that after a long day that you need to have a glass of wine. That could be the routine of keeping the same friendships and relationships because it's routine and it's normal, it's safe. Like, it's all the things. It can be cutting the root of letting go of social media. And which is so crazy because many of you know me through my personal brand that I've built on social media. Like, y'all have known me as the DIY girl. You've known me as the branding photographer and the creative director. Like, you've watched my journey of being a mom and being a wife and purchasing my husband's childhood home last year. Like, y'all have literally like evolved with me through so many different like pivotal moments of my life. And I'm grateful for that. Like, I'll never take anything with that. But what I'm having to assess is, what does my social media presence look like moving forward? And why has social media been such a pivotal part of my day, my life, my routine, all the things? And being a millennial, of course, like, we were the first to be introduced to social media. Like, there was MySpace, there was a lot. MySpace. Facebook came out when I was in college. And then now there's Instagram, and then there's TikTok, and there's all these different platforms. And I think for me, social media started out as a space of where I could simply just show up and just share the things that inspired me, the things that made me happy, the things that brought me joy, like all of those things. And then social media became this whole propaganda where now it's the new age of being an influencer, being a content creator, growing your brand, monetizing your brand. It's all of these things. And whereas these things are not bad things, I think it's so easy to lose your why and why you're showing up and existing on these various platforms. And I feel like for me, I was in a space of slowly drifting and slowly conforming to what society has deemed as, or deeming as, a standard for having a social media presence, right? Like, if you look at social media, like, all you see is this influencer. Everybody has the same goal of being an influencer. Everybody has the same goal on monetizing their brand. And don't get me wrong, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I also think that we have to also not lose sight of the bigger picture. Like, the bigger picture of your end goals. What are your end goals? And if what you're doing currently helping to position you for your ultimate financial end goals. And if it's not giving a return on investment, like honestly, like you have to assess your why and why you're continuously showing up and making things a routine if you're not seeing a return on investment. And so for me, like January, literally, so many things happened this month that I'm just like, okay, Shay, like you got to put your big girl panties on. Like maybe you have been delusional, not delusional, maybe that's such a harsh word, but maybe you have stopped growing past social media. Maybe, just maybe, you have been putting your all into a platform, your time, your energy, your effort into something that right now doesn't have a return on investment that your kids are going to inherit, that your spouse is going to inherit. Like it's literally left me like questioning my why. And I'm not saying that like my presence on social media will be non-distinct, that I won't like pivot back. But I am in a space of questioning and self-evaluating my relationship with social media, my relationship with having wine and alcohol, my relationships with people. Like that's the message. As we move forward in 2025, like I want you to assess your relationships with the things that you do life with every day. And I want you to assess, like really think about, are the things that I'm doing life with every day giving me a return on investment? Are the things that I'm doing life with every day, is it giving me a return on investment with my health? Is it giving me a return on investment with my time? Is it giving me a return on investment with my finances? Is it giving me a return on investment with being my better self? And if it's not, like you literally have to like cut that root off. Like you got to literally just cut it off and move forward. And sometimes that's hard, but we really have to really hone in on why we have these strong ties and relationships with things, people, places, like all the things. And so that's where I've been. Like I've really just been in this space this year of really just letting God be God. I've been in a space of really surrendering my ways. I've been in a space of like not trying to do things my way. I also realized that like during dry January that a lot of toxic traits and a lot of my toxic behaviors really surfaced during dry January. Like I had like all of these like aha moments about myself. And I think it was because I cut out all the things that was clouding my perspective, that was clouding my brain, that was clouding my mindset about the day-to-day life. And y'all, like, I'm not saying like I'm like or was like an alcoholic. Like that's not the case. Like that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that I was the typical social drinker like anybody else that's probably listening to this video, right? Like no different. Like maybe in a night setting I'll have multiple glasses of wine, multiple glasses of Prosecco. Heck, probably drink a whole bottle of Prosecco in one sitting. But I wasn't like codependent upon it, like I had to have it. But it became a routine. And so with that, it made mornings getting up at 5 o'clock to take my kid to practice by 6 a struggle. I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm complaining, I'm negative, I'm responding to stuff different. Not because I'm a negative person, but because what I was feeding in my body was causing me to respond negative, right? So that's my challenge. Like my challenge to each of you is to do an assessment of what you're intaking, what you are putting into your body, like who you're doing life with, and finding a way this year to cut that root off so that you can grow and you can flourish and you can move into 2025 to be your ultimate best self. Like that is what my desire is for me. That is my desire for you. That's my desire for all of us. Like, I want us all to win this year. And I don't want us to continue to be carrying this baggage and, carrying over relationships and things that are no longer going to like serve us. So that's it. That's all. Like, I wanted to like really just say hi and to update you guys on like what's been happening over here. Yeah, so cut off the things that are not serving you in this season, and I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.